The Community Television Consortium of Stark County presents this week's edition of What's Happening, the show about you, the people of Stark County. And now your host for tonight's program, Susie Vitale.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. I'm Susie Vitale. Our first guest this evening is Gary Braun, who's the Director of Adult Services at the Stark County Board of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities. And we're here tonight to talk about the workshops. Could you please tell us about the workshops, where the location is, and what sort of services you offer there?
Well, we have the Higgins Center located in the Southgate Shopping Center. We have Cohen Joliet Industries, which is located on Regent Avenue out by Pepsi-Cola. We have West Stark Center, which is located in Massillon on Hills and Dales by Wales. We have Eastgate, which is located by St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Louisville. And we have Whippledale Center, which is at the corner of Whipple and Hills and Dales.
What is your enrollment?
Well, the enrollment in the buildings themselves is 856. Our total enrollment in the Adult Services program is a little more than 1,000.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. Now, what do you teach at the workshops? What sort of services do you have?
Well, services are based upon the person's needs. Every person is given an assessment and has an individual plan, and the individual plan is developed, and the services that the person needs are reflected on there. What's most important for us is to foster independence on the part of all of the people that we serve.
Have you had a lot of growth in the workshops?
Yes, indeed. The population in 1988 was right around 700, and now, of course, more than 1,000. It's grown quite a bit.
Okay, why is that? Do you know?
Well, what's happening is a number of things. First of all, people are living longer, and as a consequence, there's more people, certainly. Secondly, the state has redefined the population that's eligible for our services, broadening it considerably. And as a consequence, we're seeing a wider variety of persons with disabilities, including physical disabilities, as well as mental retardation and developmental disabilities.
Now, even though you have that many different locations and workshops, do you still have a waiting list?
Yes, we do. At the present time, we have 104 persons waiting for services. We've been able to reduce that considerably in the last few years. 1992, I believe we had right around 265 persons on a list. So we've been doing quite well. And as a part of the being able to reduce it, the board has allowed us to expand our community work experience program and our supported employment program, which has basically fostered independence and also gotten people more out in the community, which is the best environment to teach independence.
Well, let's talk about the community work experience. Exactly what is that?
Well, community work experience program is a transitional program which allows us to, under our supervision, board employee supervision, we supervise cleaning crews between 5 and 8 enrollees in the community. They provide cleaning services, janitorial services, lawn maintenance services, and the like to area businesses. We're servicing actually more than 50 customers at the present time.
Okay, and what is supported employment?
Well, supported employment is the next step in the line towards independence. Supported employment is defined basically as the employer, not the workshops, but the employer hiring one of our people, and they are working at least 20 hours a week, making more than minimum wage, working in the community, and we provide supports, including what's called a job coach, who works one-on-one with the enrollee and addresses problems training problems or any other problems that come up right away. In addition to that, we provide counseling and peer support, which is very important. It's a big step working on in the community, and it's very important that we have a network of services to make certain that the person is successful.
Now, with both of these programs, you do have a lot of success stories.
Oh, with everyone there's a success story, actually. It's indeed a great thing. We have 80 people right now on supported employment, and just about every day that list grows.
Okay, we've got less than a minute left, believe it or not. If someone is interested in looking into these programs or finding out more about the workshops, maybe even taking a tour, what number would they call and who would they ask for?
Well, they can call 477-5200, and they can ask for me, Gary Braun, and we would be happy to set something up for them.
Okay, and that could be for either an employer, people that wanted to tour, maybe someone that's interested in getting on the waiting list.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we have the Red Cross. Stay with us. Our next guest is Rosie Blanc, who is with the American Red Cross. She's with the Rape Crisis Center, and her title is Rape Crisis AIDS Prevention Specialist. Is that right?
That's
okay.
correct.
Now, what do you do?
What I am in charge of, basically, I go out in the community and try to educate as many individuals as I possibly can about rape, about AIDS, and how to prevent it. What I will do is I go through a bunch of different steps, statistics, programming, and that type of stuff with every agency possible.
Okay, what kind of programs do you offer?
The first one we offer is just a general overview. If someone in the community would like someone to come in and speak about AIDS and how it relates to either the community itself or their organization, we can do that. We also offer a program that you take. The individuals are certified once they're done. So that means they know the basics, and they can actually test out. I give them a test. They have to score at least 80% or higher before they pass, and they have this certification once they leave. And also the Business Responds to AIDS program that's offered by the Center for Disease Control.
Okay, so with the first program, if you go out, is it a set program, or do you talk to the individuals, or how do you do that?
A general overview, what I do is whatever the company or the organization would like to discuss. It all depends on the length of time that they have available and the questions that arise during the conversation, of course, in the lecture.
Okay, and so you can make it as long as they want or as short as they want. You can kind of tailor it to what they want to present it.
And I have videos that are shortened in case someone would like those also to accompany the discussion.
Okay, and with the certification program, is that more set?
That's a standard.
That's a standard,
They set that by the state, and we have certain criteria that we have to meet before we can certify anyone. Just like the little first aid cards that you get when you take CPR and first aid.
Now, why would this be beneficial for a company to have you in and have some of the people certified? What does the certification mean?
What it means is that they understand what AIDS and HIV is. And in a company, in a situation, if someone turns up positive, it tends to instill a lot of panic in individuals if they don't know anything about the disease. In this way, it ensures that they are knowledgeable. If there was an incident or an accident with a blood spill, for example, the individual who is trained would know how to handle it without panicking or contaminating himself in any way.
Do you feel this is something valuable that companies need to have?
I think it's extremely beneficial, especially with the epidemic and the way it's going and the predictions for the years 2000, etc. It's really advantageous for them to start it.
Now, what kind of topics do you cover besides just some basic, that sort of thing? There are other areas like policies and that sort of thing?
In the Business Response to AIDS, it starts out with management and then goes down to supervisors and down to employees. It goes through policies and procedures and how to design those to fit your individual company. It goes through the Americans with Disabilities Act. We cover that so that they have an understanding of what exactly they need to do to ensure that everything is covered, that all individuals are treated equally, and then actual case scenarios. If this would happen, we would do this, this, and this.
Now, if you went into a business and you were going with the certification program, would you handle it any differently, even though it's a standardized, if you were working with the management or the employees? Would businesses give this program to the employees or just the management?
some individuals would just choose management to have them instructed on it. It would be beneficial to have everyone so that everyone has an understanding. But that, again, is up to the individuals, the company, and the presidents and CEOs and everything like that.
Would it be possible to have maybe the certification program for the administrators and maybe the overview program for the employees?
Yes, that is possible.
Okay, so they call you and you have a schedule. Now, is this available now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so they can call you up, and how much in advance are you scheduled?
So far, they definitely have to give me at least 2 days, but preferably more than that, because we are really busy, especially with this topic.
Okay, so if somebody wants to call, they're interested in this program, maybe they just want to find out more details and talk to you directly, what's the phone number they would call?
They would call the American Red Cross and ask specifically for me.
Okay.
And the number's 453-0146.
Okay, and you're Rosie Blanc.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and your title is?
Rape Crisis AIDS Prevention Specialist.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Stay with us, we've got more. Our next guest is our good friend Mary Lou Remley, who's from the Department of Human Services, where she is an adoption recruiter. We're going to talk tonight about special needs. But first of all, let's talk about the children and why they come into foster care or become available for adoption.
Okay. Our agency is the agency in the Stark County area that's legally mandated to protect children. And we get all the referrals of child abuse and neglect, and it's our agency's responsibility to investigate those referrals. And sometimes it becomes necessary in the course of that investigation to remove the children from their homes temporarily because of situations of abuse and neglect. Our goal is always reunification with the biological parents, but there are cases where that's not possible. You know, the reunification attempts fail, and then our agency pursues permanent custody. And then our mandate changes a little bit. Rather than protecting the children, we then need to find a permanent home for them.
Okay, and you're always putting the children first, and I think that is really wonderful that the agency, like you said before, if people have been waiting a long time, but someone just calls you and they're the right person, you do what's best for the children.
We like to, our philosophy is basically that we find children for families, not families for children.
Right.
So that we really want to be child focused, and we're looking at what's in the best interest of that particular child.
Okay, now what do we mean by special needs?
Okay, special needs is really a broad category. A lot of people, when I tell that to them on the phone or in person, I think the immediate mental picture they come up with is a child that has maybe a physical handicap, maybe in a wheelchair. And that definitely is a special need, but the category is much broader and would include children of minority background, sibling groups, any child over the age of 2, and children that might have a physical, a medical, emotional, or behavioral challenge either now or may develop one in the future. And those can be either temporary or permanent. It really depends upon the situation.
Now, how do you deal with this when you're trying to place a child with special needs?
Well, one of the things that we do is we make our foster parents or our adoptive parents aware of that child and their history. A lot of our foster and adoptive parents say understanding where the child's come from makes the behavior a lot easier to deal with. At least they can understand that it's a result of maybe a lot of moves, and they're very angry and not sure if they're going to be able to stay, and so they act out that anger and frustration. So we share that with them, and we provide a lot of training. Orientation training is mandatory for both foster parents and adoptive parents, and we also have ongoing training that's supportive in nature and can give them additional help. And then, of course, we're there, and often the children have other services such as counseling and parenting classes and that sort of thing that helps the parents.
Okay, so there is a lot of support.
Definitely.
Because you don't expect people to be experts. What kind of people usually come forward for adoption?
I think people that are really committed to children, that enjoy having children around. You're definitely not going to adopt if you don't like to have children around. I think most of our adoptive parents really like to see kids where they're at, but they have a real commitment to children in the future and know that they might get better, and then again they might not. They might sort of stay where they're at, but they're committed to parenting that child and giving that child a stable and permanent home, and they really see the importance of doing that every child deserves a family, and they want to be part of that process.
When we come to the special needs of a sibling group, and you have maybe brothers and sisters, why do you try to keep them together? Why is that important?
The sibling bond is so important because the children have lost either temporarily or permanently, whether we're talking about foster care or adoption, the contact with the parents, and so the siblings become even more important. And to separate the siblings would be yet another trauma for those children to deal with, and it's a trauma that they shouldn't have to deal with. So we try to keep them together and equip the family to deal with each of the siblings' individual behaviors and them as a group.
Now, you have children right now that are waiting for both foster care and adoptive homes.
Foster care, we always have to find a home for them. Our foster homes are filling up very quickly again. We have about 220 homes, but we've had a lot of children come into care recently, so we're definitely in need of more foster homes. And then we have 53 children that are currently in our permanent custody that we don't have a home identified for.
53.
Right. Most of them are sibling groups, a lot of minority children. We do have a few individual children, but most of them are older.
If someone wanted to call up and talk to you about this at length without making any kind of commitment, but wanted to know more, who would they talk to?
They would call either myself or Mary Pratt, our minority recruiter, at 438-8789. We'd be more than happy to talk to them over the phone. We have packets of information that we can send, and we also hold informational meetings. And again, throughout the whole process, there's no commitment. It's just a process where they can gather information and make a decision about what's best for their family.
Now, Mary Pratt can speak as an expert, is that right?
That's right. She's a foster parent and an adoptive parent, so she can give the personal experience side of it, too.
Okay. Did she adopt siblings, or?
No, she hasn't adopted siblings. A good friend of hers did adopt siblings, though.
Okay, so she can
also works with the agency.
She can speak from his experience.
Definitely.
What's the phone number one more time?
It's 438-8789.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We've got more. Our next two guests are Donald Cohen and Jack Sikafus. Don is the chairman and Jack is the co-chairman of the Malone Extravaganza. Now, what is the Malone Extravaganza?
The Malone Extravaganza is supposed to be a college football game tailgate party kind of thing. We have this tremendous tradition of football in Canton, Ohio, but primarily high school, and we're famous around the world for that high school rivalry. We know that there are towns, though, where college football is not only great football, but it's a social event, and there's the tailgate party that goes before. We're trying to establish that, and so the Malone Associates, working with Malone College and some sponsors, are trying to do a tailgate party at the college just before the first big football game of this year.
Okay, and this is the second season. I think it's real exciting that Malone has a football team now. Now, when is this going to be?
This will be Saturday, September 10th, 11:30 a.m. until game time, approximately 1:30. Game starts at 2. And this will be right on the campus at the new Herbert Hoover courtyard area.
Okay, and what does this cost?
Well, the cost is $15 per person, but that includes admission to the football game, special parking literally behind the press box at Fawcett Stadium. And we've got some new things happening this year, like last year we kicked off football. This year we kick off the marching band that go with football.
Okay, this is the second year you've done this, so it's been, obviously it was successful enough to do. Let's talk about the marching band. You've got a marching band now at Malone?
The marching band is getting put together. They've got their new uniforms. They're training right now, and planning probably begun even before school started. But just as the football team is practicing, we will have a new band and probably their first band show.
So you'll get a glimpse of them. Now, we don't expect the team to be there, but will the coach be able to be there?
Yes, Coach Paul Massano will be there to address the people who are here at our tailgate party, and also the cheerleaders and the flag troop, which accompanies the band, and it's going to be quite an extravaganza. Now,
this is going to be right down the area where you've got a new building. Are people going to be able to go in the new building?
Yes, the new Centennial Center will be open for tours, and we'll be able to, it's just a short distance from the courtyard and also the dedication of the courtyard will be taking place at the same time.
Okay, now you've got food available. What kind of food is there going to be?
I should let Jack talk about that.
Okay.
He was the man in charge of this.
You can tell I'm obvious, the food
Particular
chairman.
kind he wanted to have.
Okay.
We felt this year it would be nice to have mingle food or finger foods. We're going to have pizza and chicken and possibly ice cream bars, all that can be held in your hand and mingle about through the fans. And Malone Associates will be there to help out. And it's just going to be similar to a tailgate party, but it won't be a sit-down dinner. It's going to be a mingling time, so it will be available, yes.
Now, you're both Malone Associates, but who else is sponsoring this?
Well, we picked up some corporate co-sponsors, Ewing, Chevy Geo, United Bank, Italo's Pizza, and USA Quick Print. And we have supporting sponsorships, I think WHBC, Cameron Coca-Cola. One thing I want to emphasize, though, that you just kind of touched on, we've received some really fabulous gifts this past summer to enable us to finish that Centennial Center building. And there is heavy activity going on now to finish the bookstore and the classrooms and offices that were in this totally unfinished cinder block basement anytime anyone visited it last year. And they're working like crazy to get that done. An awful lot of it will probably be done, and that's what we'll be featuring tours of there right next to this new courtyard.
Okay, there's a lot to see.
I think there's real interest in that Centennial Center building. People have been in the beautiful dining hall portion of it. The rest of the building, we got two biggest gifts that Malone ever got from an individual and a foundation. And I don't want to make the announcement of who it is because that's another issue. But
okay, you have to have someone come back and just tell us about the building. That would be really great.
Yeah.
Now, what number would someone call, and how do they get tickets? Do they need to get these tickets in advance?
It really isn't necessary. They will be there, but it would be nice. It would help us in some of our planning.
Okay.
They can call right to the college at 471-8235. And we
Okay.
also have an 800 number for any of those that are out of the Canton district that are
Okay.
interested, and that's 800-521-1146.
Okay, and this $15 ticket, we've only got 30 seconds left, but it includes the buffet dinner, all this activity and fun, and what else?
And the game.
And the game and
The
parking.
And the parking and...
Oh, and you get
It's the whole
preferred
thing.
parking,
Yes.
too.
And hopefully we may even make $1 or $2 out of the whole thing. But that wasn't the primary effort.
Right.
But last year we lost money. With the corporate sponsorships we have this year, we'll probably make a few dollars for the Malone Associates.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening. Next up, we have the calendar of events. Stay with us. Next up is Pat Anderson with the calendar of events. Pat?
Thank you, Susie. October 30th is the deadline for entries in the Quail Hollow Camera Club Fall Photo Contest. Photos will be accepted at the Visitors Center October 29th and 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Quail Hollow State Park, and also they will be accepted at the Camera Club meetings. For details and entry forms, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Fall Photo Contest, 11475 Garden Lane, Uniontown, Ohio, and the zip is 44685. And the Quail Hollow State Park Camera Club meetings are on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday at 7 o'clock at the Mansion. Guests are welcome, and meetings feature programs of instruction and entertainment. You can call 877-6652 or 452-8085. Taking the Heart to Heart, promoting healthy lifestyles for women is the theme of the 9th Annual Women's Health Program sponsored by the Stark County Community Action Agency. The focus will be on conditions of heart disease. Workshops are scheduled September 21st, and that's a fitness class. Also, September 21st will be a nutrition talk. September 22nd, there will be a speaker, and also on that day there will be stress reduction, which we all need. For more details about the program and the workshops, you can call them at 454-1676. The Video Camera Club has its regular meetings the third Wednesday of each month starting at 7 o'clock p.m. The club meetings are held at the Market Heights Community Church, located at 3129 North Market Avenue in Canton. The club is open to anyone who is interested in video or audio. Our members have a variety of video and audio backgrounds. The membership dues are $8 per year, and the members are always ready to help anyone with their video and or audio concerns. And I understand that the CT members are going to be the guest of that.
CTC is going to do a presentation.
Great. For the September meeting.
Right.
Okay. The number for them is 494-1266. The National Eye Care Project is providing medical eye care at no out-of-pocket cost to individuals who meet the following requirements: a United States citizen or legal resident, age 65 or older, and have no access to an eye doctor seen in the past. For more details, call the National Eye Care Project helpline at 1-800-222-3937. Help foster the growth of a child. Learn how to become a foster parent for the Stark County Department of Human Services. For information, call 438-8789. Area vocalists are invited to make great music with the Canton Symphony Orchestra as members of the Canton Symphony Chorus. Chorus director Tom Douglas will hold auditions for the 1994-95 symphony season Saturday, September 10th from noon until 9 p.m., Sunday, September 11th from 3 to 9 p.m., and Monday, September 12th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., and they will be held in the Cable Recital Hall at the Cultural Center for the Arts. Persons wishing to audition should be prepared to sight read, sing scales, and perform a solo of his or her choosing. Candidates must supply the music to the accompanist who will be provided. The chorus rehearses every Monday evening from 7:30 until 10 at the Cultural Center of the Arts. Auditions are by appointments only and can be scheduled by calling the Symphony office weekdays 9 to 5 at 452-3434. The Canton Civic Opera presents Carousel on September 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Palace Theater. The box office opens September 1st and will be open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4. For tickets and information, call 452-4098. The American Diabetes Association Walk Oktoberfest will be at 8 o'clock October 2nd at the Akron General Medical Center at 224 West Exchange Street. Pledges are used to help end diabetes. For more details, call this toll-free number, 1-800-254-9255. If your nonprofit club or organization would like to appear on What's Happening in Stark County, you can write to us at the CTC, Post Office Box 8335, Canton, Ohio 44711, or you can give us a call at 493-8925. What's Happening airs on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock and Thursdays at 6:30 on Warner Cable, Channel 11, and on Thursday nights at 7:30 on Channel 50 on Maslin Cable.
Thanks, Pat. That wraps up another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. Thanks for joining us.